Well, chainsaw, bar oil, axe, fuel, and two-stroke oil. This can only mean one thing. Can you guess? That's right. Today we're getting a car. Welcome back. I'm sure you're thinking, what is he doing now? Well, if you can see it, that is a 1964 Chrysler Newport. And the best I can tell, it's fully intact with a 361 cubic inch engine in it. But she's seen better days. So we are going to cut down a forest and try to get this car out of here. So a guy of an old farmer that I got chatting to through work knew about this car being out here. He says it ain't pretty, which is true. It's not pretty, and it's been here a while. Last time it was safety inspected for the road was 1969. And if I come back around here, she has the original license plate on it. It's hard to see, but the last date on this is 1970, March 1970. Story is, she was bought, driven hard, real hard, for about 90,000 miles. She started to smoke, so it was parked. And as you can see, nature and the forest has reclaimed her. The trees have it wedged in. For the most part, the glass is good. For the year this thing, the body panels are there. The only downside is this one door was left open. She got 93,404 kilometers on her. I must be crazy. Everything is here, including all the chrome and all the trim. The engine is complete, minus plug wires and hoses and things like that that have been ripped off over the years. As you see here, this tree has grown into the alternator, back out the top. It's kind of molded itself in there. So she is going to require work. Got the original 2-barrel carburetor on her. I think in the day, this thing produced 296 horsepower. I'm sure we can do better than that. But she's all mine if I want her. No charge. The only condition is that I cut down these trees, because the guy that owns this property wants to clear it out around this old Quonset so he can move around it. And he's going to get rid of all this junk laying around. There's an old truck back there as well too that is too far gone. So today we're going to start going on some of the small stuff so we can get it out of the way so we can fell these bigger trees. Well, making progress. She's slow. I'm having issues with the saw. I can only get about 2/3 throttle out of her and she's bogging out. She might need a carb job. But getting all this little stuff out anyway, and this long hay, this grass, it's a bugger getting sucked up into the chain and plugging it up too. So But I got a clear line down this side of the car. I do have an issue. The door is stuck open, and I don't want to have to cut down all these trees this far out. So I think I'm going to come back with a socket set, and I'll just take that door off when it's time to pull this car out. But I'm going to get down and do some more small cutting on the back there. Then I'll attempt to take down some of these bigger ones. But I do think I'll have to come back another day with a tune-up on the chainsaw. Well, I attempted one bigger tree, but the saw's getting worse. She's struggling. I'm down to about half throttle, so just wasting my time here. There's nothing I can do anymore. So the last things I got is I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 big trees to go. 7 big trees, and she should slide out of there right nice. I did get the hood to close though. She's a little bubbled up there, but it did close. She's looking fine. So now we get a little better look at this thing. So like I said, this is a 1964 Chrysler Newport. It's hard to see the markings, but it should be a 361 cubic inch engine in there. Like I said, it's been last safety inspected in 1969, and the sticker on the plate was last registered March 1970. Now everything is complete on this car. Whenever someone does a restoration, the hardest thing to find is all these trim pieces. But all the chrome trims and little rails, everything is there. Front bumper and back bumper. And it's all in good shape and it's all straight. Of course, the lower fenders, lower quarter panels are rotted. But she's sitting in the dirt, so that's to be expected. Taillights are there, taillight bezels. Everything is there. All the lettering needs to be cleaned up, but it's there as well. Let's get inside this beast. Well, she's not in the right home about, but it's if you ever watch restoration shows, she's about average. She's missing the high quality AM stereo. Said 93,000 on the dash. This is pretty cool. It's a push button transmission, push button 3-speed transmission, and this is your park lever. They definitely don't make them like this anymore. Oil temperature, it's got a lighter on here. The thing says it has an AC button right there, but I didn't see an AC compressor under there. So either it was yanked off or it was just generic to have the button on there. Has choke and main fuel cut off as well. And also down on the pedal here, right there, here's your high beam switch. Right, that thing right there, that's for your high beams. Got a back seat with leg room for miles. And even the front seat here, she's got some miles on her. I'd even got himself a holy crap handle right there for all that power we're gonna get out of this thing. Oh, something's been living in here though. It's got a nice aroma. Kind of like a, I don't know, wet Oreos and puke. Kind of the smell in here. Might have been a mouse nest. Looks like there used to be a cover one time over the seat. I'm thinking mice probably live in this thing all winter. But the floor is there. I'm surprised. There's actually a floor in the sucker. Can't get the back door open, but it's about the same as the front. Now this one fender is green though. The whole car is still the original paint. And I got one green fender. So something happened at some point. It had a short life on the road from what I'm told, but she had a hard life. Now, replacing this fender on these old things though, I think the fender and the front cross member were all one, so they must have cut it at one side and front here. It bolted on to the sides, but in the front it was all one piece. She looks mean. But that is it for this part of the video. Like I said, I'm going home, Got to give that saw a tune-up. Come back and get rid of the last of these trees in front here. And the guy that owns this property, the guy that looks after it, I should say, has a big tractor. And we're going to dig out onto the front here, hopefully get on the frame rails and drag this thing out. And then that will tell me if I'm going to take this car or not. If the back half of the car stays behind, obviously she's staying where she's at and the scrapyard's taking it. So anyway, this is going to be a long series. I'll be cutting in and out of it. I probably won't be getting into it real deep until I have my shop done, just because mainly engine stuff, you know, you're going to want to have that in a shop. But we'll get her rolling anyway. Get some tires on her, find some old bald ones from the tire shop that are just laying around. Get it rolling, so at least move it around the yard. And we can always do some body work and just cosmetic stuff on the outside while you're waiting for the shop to be built and we can do that engine. So, thanks for watching. This is going to be exciting, I think. It's going to be a learning experience for me as well. And I hope you join me.